Salvete discipuli discipulaeque linguae Latinae, mihi valde placet vos pulchram linguam aeternam docere. We have so far in this course learned a crucial key to Latin verbs, as well as fundamental lessons about Latin nouns. It's important to safeguard knowledge this important. So let's do just that and take a moment to review, starting with verbs. I'll wait a moment while you recite the personal active endings of the Latin verb. Orem, st, mus, tis, nt. Iterum quaeso. Again, please. Together on the count of 3. Unus duo, tres. Orem, st, mus, tis, nt. Our model verb going forward will be pono, ponere, possui, possitum. Pono, ponere, possui, possitum. To put, to place, or to put away. Let us conjugate pono in the present active indicative, remembering to use an O in the first person, then to insert short I's before the personal active endings until we arrive at the third person plural, where we insert a U. Ready? Let's do this together on the count of 3. Unus duo, tres. Pono, ponis, ponit, ponimus, ponitis, ponunt. Iterumque quaeso. And again, please. Pono, ponis, ponit, ponimus, ponitis, ponunt. And to form the subjunctive, we replace the vowel before the personal active endings with a long A. Let's recite the present active subjunctive together. Unus duo, tres. Ponam, ponas, ponat, ponamus, ponatis, ponant. Iterumque. And again. Ponam, ponas, ponat, ponamus, ponatis, ponant. And the imperative forms? Please command one person. Put it away, dude. Pone. And the plural? Hey, you guys, put it away. Ponite. And again, both imperatives, singular and plural. Pone, ponite. And the infinitive, to place, ponere. Iterumque. And again, to place, ponere. Time for a quiz. You will hear a series of sentences in English with the form of the verb to put, to place, or to put away. Please turn just the form of put or place into its Latin equivalent using the appropriate forms of ponere. Molinarius will pause to give you time. After the pause, Molinarius will provide the correct response. She puts away her dolls. Ponit. She's already 13. Let her put away her dolls and get married. Ponat. Why such a horrible example? If the Romans had had Hallmark cars, this would, I'm sorry to say, have been one of their Hallmark moments. Let's continue the quiz. We were able to put the scroll in the library. Ponere. We put. Ponimus. We may put. Ponamus. Let us put away. Ponamus. We've also learned 2 irregular verbs, sum esse fui futurum, to be, and possum posse potui, to be able. Let us review the forms of the verb to be in the present tense indicative. Please repeat after me. Sum es est, sumus estis sunt. Iterumque. And again, Sum es est. Sumus estis sunt. And together on the count of three, unus duo, tres, sum es est, sumus estis sunt. And stop. Now the subjunctive, taking care to remember that every form begins with an S and that our subjunctive vowel is I. Please repeat after me. Sim, si, sit. Simus, situs, sint. Iterumque, and again. Sim, si, sit. Simus, situs, sint. And now together. Unus duo, tres. Sim, si, sit. Simus, situs, sint. And stop. What are the imperative forms? Please command one person. Be, man. S. And more than one person? Este. And again, what are the two command forms of sum? Es and este. And what is the infinitive of sum? How do we say to be? Esse. And again, to be in Latin? Esse. Time for the quiz. Molinarius will make up a sentence in English that includes a form of the verb to be in the present tense. During the pause provided, please supply the Latin equivalent. After the pause, Molinarius will provide the correct response so that you, discipulaeque linguae Latinae, may check your work. Y'all are students of the Latin language. Estis. Y'all may be the smartest bunch yet. Cetus. Casca, why are there daggers in this drawer? There are. Sunt. Let them be assassins. Sint. Be gentle, O Venus. S. Be faithful, O disciples. Este. I think, therefore I am. Sum. Optime. Excellent. Now let's change existence into ability. How do we do it? We just need some pot, man. And then we add our pot, P-O-T, to the front of sum, remembering to change the T to an S if the form of sum begins with an S. Let's review the forms of to be able in the present tense indicative. Please repeat after me. Possum, potes, potest. Possumus, potestis, possunt. Iterumque, and again. Possum, potes, potest. Possumus, potestis, possunt. And one more time together on the count of three. Unus duo, tres. Possum, potes, potest. Possumus, potestis, possunt. As you will recall, we form the subjunctive by attaching POS to sim, si, sit, simus, situs, sint. Please repeat after me. Possum, possis, possit. Possimus, possitis, possunt. Iterumque, and again. Possum, possis, possit. Possimus, possitis, possunt. And one more time together. Unus duo, tres. Possum, possis, possit. Possimus, possitis, possunt. And stop. And the imperative forms? Be able, O singular subject. Potes. Be able, O plural subjects. Poteste. And again, what are the command forms of possum? Potes, singular. Poteste, plural. In the infinitive, to be able, posse. And again, the infinitive, to be able, posse. Quiz time, my friends. Molinarius, your magister, will make up a sentence in English that includes a form of the verb to be able in the present tense. He will pause. During that pause, please study the Latin equivalent of possum. And after you study it, supply it. After the pause, I, Magister Molinarius, will provide the correct response so that you, discipuli, discipulaeque, linguae Latinae, may check your work. Y'all are able to conjugate. Potestis. Y'all may be able to read love poetry. Positis. These soldiers can execute the senator now. Possunt. I can conjugate irregular verbs. Possum. To be able to conjugate pleases me. Posse. Verbs are where the action is, but we have looked at things too, substantives, nouns, both common and proper. Let us review the endings of the third declension, masculine and feminine nouns. Please repeat after me. In the singular, blank is em, e. And in the plural, eis, ibus, eis, ibus. Iterumque. In the singular, blank is em, e. And again in the plural, eis, ibus, eis, ibus. Let us now recite the 10 endings from the nominative singular, blank, all the way to the ablative plural, ibus, together. On the count of 3. Unus duo, tres. Blank is em, e, eis, ibus, eis, ibus. And again together. Blank is em, e, eis, ibus, eis, ibus. Iterumque. Blank is em, e, eis, ibus, eis, ibus. And stop. Let us decline soldier. As we go, I will review what we know about the use of the cases. First, let's check to make sure we have what we need to do the job right. Miles is the word for soldier. What is the genitive form? Militis. What is the stem? We remove the genitive is to reveal, voila, milit. Okay, we're ready. Please try to provide the appropriate form of soldier in Latin. Nominative, the soldier verbs. Miles. Genitive of the soldier. Militis. Dative, to or for the soldier. Militi. Accusative, verb the soldier. Militem. Ablative, by, with, or from the soldier. Milite. So much for the singular. Let's take a look at the plural. Nominative, the soldier's verb. Milites. Genitive, of the soldiers. Militum. Dative, to or for the soldiers. Militibus. Accusative, verb the soldiers. Milites. And ablative, by, with, or from the soldiers. Militibus. If you feel comfortable with the personal endings of the verb and these third declension endings, you're ready for the next step, the final gender, neither masculine nor feminine. What should we call it? The Romans called it neuter, which in Latin means neither. The Romans were clever that way. And today, when we adopt pets and we no longer want them to act on their biological sex, male or female, what do we do to them? We neuter them. As you will recall, third declension nouns of the masculine and feminine genders have the same endings. A masculine soldier, miles, has the same endings as a feminine lux, hec. A soldier has the same endings as a mulier, the Latin word for woman. Mulier, mulieres, mulieri, mulierem, muliere, mulieres, mulierum, mulieribus, mulieres, mulieribus. That's equal opportunity. The neuter, however, differs from the masculine and feminine nouns in 3 places: the accusative singular and the nominative and accusative plurals. I think it's time for more choral repetition. The neuter endings of the third declension are, and please repeat after me, in the singular, blank is e blank e, and in the plural, ibus a ibus. What just happened? 3 things. The nominative form in the singular serves as the accusative singular as well, and instead of using ace in the nominative and accusative plurals, we use a, the letter A. Let us practice these endings in the singular. Please repeat after me. Blank is e blank e. And again, in the singular, blank is e blank e. And again, blank is e blank e. And stop. And now, in the plural, ibus a ibus. And again, ibus a ibus. One more time, ibus a ibus. And stop. Let's try the whole thing. Please repeat after me, but wait until I've done all 10 endings, because I'll pause briefly after the singular, but only enough to separate the singular from the plural. Here goes. Blank is e blank e, ibus a ibus. And again, blank is e blank e, ibus a ibus. And one more time. Blank is e blank e, ibus a ibus. And stop. Can we chant these endings together? We can try. On the count of 3, please try to say them with me. Unus duo, tres. Blank is e blank e, ibus a ibus. And again, blank is e blank e, ibus a ibus. Fun as chanting endings may be, let us now try to decline the word body, which in Latin is neuter. Body in the nominative is corpus. What is the stem? We do not know unless we remove the genitive ending. And the genitive ending of corpus is corporis. If we remove the ending is, voila, the stem, which is thus corpor. And we need to hang on to that stem for the application of the endings. And it's also interesting to note that things in English that have bodies are corporeal. Again, English derivatives can help you remember the stems of words. Corpor, incorporeal. Okay, we've chanted the endings. You have the stem, corpor. Let us decline first the nominative. But we don't need the stem for that, do we? We go back to the original form, corpus. The body verbs, corpus. Genitive, now we need our stem, corpor. Of the body, corporis. I hope you remember to use corpor, especially since I gave you many hints. Dative, to or for the body, corpori. For the accusative, There is no ending to attach to the stem. Remember blank. Blank is e blank eh. So what happens? The word reverts back to its nominative form. So, verb the body, please. Corpus. It's corpus again. But now, you must remember to bring back the stem for the ablative. All right? Try the ablative, please. By, with, or from the body. Corpore. Okay, so much for the singular. Let's take a look at the plural. Nominative, the body's verb. Corpora. Genitive, of the bodies. Corporum. Dative, to or for the bodies. Corporibus. Accusative, verb the bodies. Corpora. Ablative, by, with, or from the bodies. Corporibus. Let's decline body again. First we'll do it in the singular and then the plural. Please repeat after me. Corpus, corporis, corpori, corpus, corpora. And now we'll do the plural. Please repeat after me. Corpora, corporum, corporibus, corpora, corporibus. And again, the singular. Corpus, corporis, corpori, corpus, corpora. And now the plural. Corpora, corporum, corporibus, corpora, corporibus. Let's try the whole declension from the nominative singular corpus all the way to the ablative plural corporibus. Please repeat after me, but remember that I'll pause briefly after the singular before proceeding to the plural, so don't begin too early. Here goes. Corpus, corporis, corpori, corpus, corpora. Corpora, corporum, corporibus, corpora, corporibus. And now together on the count of three. Unus duo, tres. Corpus, corporis, corpori, corpus, corpora. Corpora, corporum, corporibus, corpora, corporibus. Chances are that you will need a lot more practice than this. That would be normal for most mortals. But if you keep at it, you can burn these declensions into your synapses for quick and frequent retrieval. And if your memories fade, as they so frequently do, you can review. Again, as always, feel free to put me on a loop. I don't mind. I'll chant with you as many times as you like. But for now, let's put this declension to work and explore some Latin. Corpus is an interesting word. In English, we use its closest derivative only to refer to dead bodies, corpses. But in Latin, corpora can be alive as well as dead. On the other hand, through French, we use the word to refer to a body of men, as in sailormen, the Marine Corps, C-O-R-P-S. All that's missing is the U. And when a group of people get together to act, at least in business activities, as a single body, what do? They incorporate. They form a body, and that is perhaps in part why the Supreme Court of the United States declared that corporations are persons. They represent a collection of bodies. Etymology is, I confess, probably not a strong argument. On the other hand, there is the right to have possession of one's body. We call this habeas corpus. Literally, you should have body. Habeas is a subjunctive. You may have noticed that long A. The verb also ends in S, hence you, singular. And corpus is a direct object, hence accusative. Habeas corpus, or habeas corpus in English. And whose body should you have but your own? In other words, other people should not be allowed to take your body from you by locking it up somewhere arbitrarily. Your advocate can file a petition to get it back. This particular right was enshrined in 1305 as the Great Writ, During the American Civil War, Abraham Lincoln famously suspended the writ of habeas corpus. Congress suspended it again in 2006 with the Military Commissions Act, at least for prisoners taken during the War on Terror. The Supreme Court then seemed to restore it in 2008, but what? Irrelevant, you protest? Au contraire, mes amis. The Latin student understands that the subjunctive and neuter third declension nouns remain as relevant today as they ever were. Habeas corpus. You should have the body, especially your own. Let's examine some Latin sentences more ancient than 1305. In his Tusculan Disputations, or philosophical works, written at his villa in Tusculum, Cicero, who lived during the 1st century BCE, writes, Corpora non sumus. What does Cicero say? Please see if you can work it out. We are not bodies. Corpora non sumus. But what does that mean? If we are not bodies, what are we? Spirits? Well, the things we could discuss if we had time, my friends. Let's look instead at the grammar. Who is the subject of sumus? We are the unexpressed first-person plural subjects. The mus on sumus tells us that we are the first-person plural subjects. But the word we does not appear, hence we are unexpressed, even though we are the subjects. We are the unexpressed subjects. And in what case are the corpora? Is the case nominative or accusative? Corpora non sumus. We are not bodies. Well, think about it. Do we perform the action of being upon bodies? No. To be merely establishes identity. One thing equals another. One does not perform the action of being upon an object. So corpora are nominative because they are equal to or identified with the subject. When we make a statement about a subject, we call that statement the predicate. That's a technical term. A predicate is a statement about a subject. When we use a linking verb, however, the predicate is nominative because we say that our statement is somehow the subject. Subjects, of course, are nominative. We call such statements of identity that use the nominative case predicate nominatives. But did you really need to know that the word corpora was the predicate nominative in order to understand the sentence? Not really. However, grammatical precision can assist us. It's nice to know that the case of corpora is nominative. However, even saying that, grammatical precision is certainly not sufficient for understanding. Knowing what the words mean can offer even more help. Corpora non sumus. We are not bodies. In other words, human beings are something more than flesh. We have bodies, but we are not necessarily just bodies, unless, of course, we are dead. Here's an example from Caesar. Hostes ex corporibus pugnant. Hostis, hostis, third declension masculine, word for enemy. Ex is a preposition that takes or governs the ablative case. Ex means out of, from, or here, from, on top of. Pugnant means they fight. But there is an a when a view protests, an a, pugnant. Should we not say, let the enemies fight? Pugnant, is it subjunctive? No, because it's a different kind of verb. It's actually indicative. Sorry, language is a messy business, but look on the bright side, it ends in nt. So you know that they are the subject. So who fights? Hostes could be nominative plural, so we could translate the enemies fight. Hostes pugnant. On the other hand, could hostes be accusative and the subject unexpressed, giving us they fight the enemies? Touché, my clever students. But the context, which I did not give you, makes it clear that Caesar makes the enemies the subject of pugnant. So we will translate the enemies fight. Can you translate the whole sentence? Hostes sex corporibus pugnant. The enemies fight from on top of the bodies. Nice. And with that, all of you, omnes linguae Latinae amatores, all lovers of the Latin language, are free to go so that you may learn Latin, ut linguam Latinam discatis, and practice it on your own before we meet again. Gratias vobis ago, curate ut valeatis.